All right, so I moved to a new school district and I'm putting my daughter Ashley, she starts her freshman year, and I really love the school. It's real progressive. There's a lot of high academics. They teach kids just not only the academics, but to have a social conscience about how important it is to recycle, global warming, all of that. So I'm excited about being there. There's this one problem I noticed, and is that it's a diversity problem. The school lacks diversity. So I brought this problem up to the local school board, and they're very receptive to it. And they said, Ramsey Paul, we want you to be our diversity coordinator and help fix this problem. So this is going to be a video log over the next few years explaining how that effort is going. A little background, the Pleasant Valley school system is probably 90% either white or Asian. So it really lacks that vibrancy. And that's what my argument was, is cultural diversity is important for a couple reasons. First, it's important for our kids because this is a global environment and we need kids to interact with the other cultures so they become more tolerant. They understand culture issues, that they raise their culture IQ. To say you have an academic IQ, there's also a culture IQ. And the second reason is that it's just the right thing to do. When I accepted this position, I went into the inner city and I looked at some of these disadvantaged youth. And one of these people I met was a guy named Jerome, had the biggest, happiest smile that you could ever see. It just warmed my heart. And he comes from a family of 5. His mother's a single mother. And God bless her, trying to raise 5 kids alone with no father. And he goes to a school. Then I went to it. I was shocked. There's graffiti everywhere. There's trash. There's security guards everywhere. You have to go through a metal detector. I detected hostility everywhere. The test scores are horrible. And so one of the things that really hit me is, why should Jerome have to go to a school like that with really no hope when just across 10 miles down the road was this affluent school with all these opportunities? And obviously the reason is simple. It's racism. And the way we can combat this racism is to allow these good schools to be available for everyone. And that's what my goal is as a diversity consultant, or the diversity leader. Anyway, I have a hard task ahead of me, but this is my update. I'll get back to you in a year and tell you how it's going. This is my first yearly update. It's been 1 year, and I have some good progress to say. I have some challenges, but we got some progress. The first progress is that the school system of Pleasant Valley is no longer 90% non-diverse. Now we have 30% diversity in the school system. It's like a huge victory. I'm really excited. All right, that's a good part. Now there are some challenges that we're working on. One of the challenges we're working on is behavior problems and some, I hate to say it, but there's some patterns of discrimination that are happening. Because we've looked at the records of the past year, and there's a lot of kids getting suspended, and the disproportionate amount of them are of disadvantaged youth that we brought in, the diversity. And one example is Jerome. Remember that guy I talked about last year, that happy-go-lucky kid with a big smile, always wants to make people laugh. Well, he's real talkative. And he was in his, for example, in his math class and his algebra class, and he was talking, goofing around, and he was doing a new funky dance or whatever, and he wouldn't stop. The teacher told him to stop. So, and because he didn't stop right away, he got suspended. Another problem we're experiencing is that the test scores are starting to dip. And because these disadvantaged kids are just as smart as the white kids, so it's obviously the teachers are not teaching them. They're not being relevant to them. It's kind of like Jerome. And with the behavior, these teachers, they need to unlearn their patterns of prejudice and racism and deal with kids of where they are. They're all not the same. And that more disadvantaged kids are getting suspended and they're getting lower scores tells me there's a failure on the part of the teachers and the administrations. Bunch of white people, if I must be honest, and they're not adapting. And so what I'm doing, I'm going to have mandatory diversity classes for them, and I'm going to have all these cultural events, and we're going to continue to push diversity so they can learn and unlearn their bad behaviors. Because we can be a great school. I already feel it's a lot more vibrant. It's exciting. So that's my update for this year. I'll talk to you next. This is the second yearly update. Well, there's been progress. The good news is that the school is now 50% diverse. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not adapting to the new situation. And you guys probably heard in the news how there was a gang fight in the school and the SWAT team had to be called out. Unfortunately, Jerome, remember that kid? I mean, he's a good kid. He just made some bad choices. And I guess someone was mad dogging. I don't know what mad dogging means, but he says someone mad dogged him, so he took out a knife and stabbed the other kid. and it created a diversity problem. And I'm not blaming the kids, I'm really blaming the teachers and the administrators. Because I talked to the community leaders, and one of the perspectives that they gave is it's hard for the kids to relate to a teacher or an administrator that's a different color than them, that doesn't look like them. So I'm pushing through a program that we can get rid of these stupid old white teachers and get some diversity in the teaching administration to help with this problem. I think that will help. Unfortunately, we're already losing a lot of the white population because, there's a lot of racists out there, and they don't understand the importance of experiencing this diversity. But we're going to stop it. We're going to make this a great school. I'm convinced this is going to be a great school. Yeah, our school is officially an at-needs school now because our test scores have plummeted. But again, I think we're having teachers that are not connecting with our diversity students, and we need to fix that, and we will fix that. I promise you. Otherwise, my name is not Ramsey Saul. Because troublemakers aren't exclusive just to one race or anything. Anyone can be. There's just a few bad apples. We're going to crack down on those bad apples. And so we're going to put metal detectors in, and we got a lot more security staff now in this school to help with that effort. And we're going to do random pat downs. So I think that's really going to help the school be a safer environment for your children. So don't worry. This is my year 3 and final update. I've made a lot of progress. We made a lot of progress. The school is now 70% diverse, and that is an excellent thing. Unfortunately, I'm having to pull my daughter out of the school because of the environment's horrible with crime and low test scores. And it's not, no one's to blame for it except the administrations and the teachers, and the failure to really adopt a progressive mindset has really led to this. So anyway, it has nothing to do with race or anything like that. I just need to move to a different and safer school. So, and actually I found one. It's really great. They're really progressive. They really have great academics. I think my daughter would do great there. They just have one problem though. It's not a very diverse school. So I'm going to talk to the school board about that, see if I can fix it. Talk to you guys later.